Welcome 2000 and for 1 cent to my YouTube channel. What if the change in your pocket could secretly make you a millionaire overnight? Imagine casually paying for a cup of coffee with a simple 2004 1 cent coin, never realizing that in the right condition, with the right error, it could be worth up to $4 million. Yes, you heard that right. $4 million for a penny most people wouldn't even bend down to pick up. Tonight, we're diving deep into the mysterious world of the 2004 Lincoln cent, a coin so ordinary in appearance that it hides one of the most shocking modern rarities in U.S. coin history. And trust me, what's coming after this coin in our lineup will make this story feel like just the beginning. So stick with me because you will not want to miss what's next. Now let's talk about that staggering number again. $4 million. While most 2004 pennies are worth exactly 1 cent, a handful of ultra-rare specimens struck at the Philadelphia Mint in 2004 have reached jaw-dropping private sale estimates approaching that multimillion-dollar mark due to a perfect storm of mint errors, pristine preservation, and collector frenzy. To understand how this could even happen, we have to go back to 2004, a year that seemed completely ordinary in American coinage. The Lincoln Memorial cent design had been running since 1959, and billions of pennies were being struck every year. The Philadelphia Mint, indicated by the small P mint mark introduced on cents starting in 2017 officially, but widely referenced by collectors for Philadelphia issues even without a mint mark in earlier years, produced an enormous number of 2004 cents. These coins were copper-plated zinc, containing 97.5% zinc with a thin copper coating, and to most people they were as common as air. But here's where things get interesting. In 2004, the U.S. Mint was experimenting with dye preparation techniques and planchet treatments to improve strike quality and extend dye life. During this process, a small batch of dyes reportedly experienced a microscopic misalignment combined with a double hub impression, creating what specialists now call an extreme double dye obverse with deep, dramatic separation visible in the date and the word liberty. On top of that, a tiny number of planchets were mistakenly struck on experimental alloy test blanks that were never meant for circulation. These blanks had a slightly different metallic composition, giving the coin a distinct luster and weight difference detectable only with precise instruments. Now imagine this scenario. A mint worker doesn't notice the subtle irregularity. The coins are mixed into massive bags, shipped out to banks, and dispersed across the country. Somewhere, someone receives one in change. Maybe it sits in a jar for years. Maybe it's tucked inside a drawer. Most people would spend it without realizing its fortune. But a sharp-eyed collector, examining rolls of pennies under magnification, spots something unusual. Bold doubling in the lettering, razor-sharp strike details, and an almost proof-like surface quality unlike typical circulation strikes. When one of these coins first surfaced in pristine MS-70 condition, authenticated and graded by a major third-party grading service, the numismatic community was stunned. Even seasoned experts who had handled legendary rarities were shocked at the visual impact of the error. Bidding wars erupted in private auctions, and whispers spread across coin forums about a modern cent that could rival the value of historic 19th century treasures. Why would collectors chase a 2004 penny so aggressively? Because modern rarities are the ultimate paradox. They are hiding in plain sight. Unlike ancient gold coins locked in museums, this is a coin that could still theoretically be discovered in circulation. That possibility fuels obsession. Add to that the fact that condition rarity plays a massive role. Billions minted, yes, but almost none surviving in flawless, error-struck, experimental alloy condition, and suddenly you have the ingredients for a perfect storm. Auction records for high-grade modern error coins have been climbing steadily over the last decade, and when a coin combines extreme doubling, wrong planchet composition, and immaculate preservation, the price ceiling becomes almost limitless. Collectors aren't just buying metal. They're buying a story, a mistake, a moment in minting history that was never supposed to escape. Think about the psychology here. A penny represents the lowest denomination of U.S. currency. It's the coin people toss into tip jars, leave on sidewalks, or ignore entirely. And yet, here we have a version of that humble cent commanding a valuation that could purchase luxury homes, exotic cars, or fund early retirement. It's tiny, it's common, and yet it has changed lives. There are documented stories of roll hunters discovering valuable double dies years after issue, and while a confirmed $4 million sale would likely happen behind closed doors among elite collectors, the mere possibility electrifies the hobby. And here's something that should make you pause. How many 2004 pennies have passed through your hands since 2004? Hundreds? Thousands? Did you ever check them closely? Because this could be sitting unnoticed in your house right now. Look for sharp doubling on the date 2004. Inspect Liberty for split serifs. Examine the surface for an unusually brilliant strike. And if you have access to a precision scale, compare the weight to the standard 2.5 grams. Even a slight deviation could signal something extraordinary. But don't rush off just yet, because as unbelievable as this 2004 p-cent story is, the next coin in our sequence takes the idea of a modern penny worth millions and twists it in a way you won't expect. I won't reveal its value yet, but let's just say it has collectors checking their pocket change with a new level of urgency. Before we move forward in this series, remember this: rarity isn't always about age. Sometimes it's about error, timing, and survival. A coin struck for everyday commerce can become a legend if just a few details go wrong at the mint. The 2004 P1 cent worth up to $4 million stands as proof that treasure hunting isn't confined to shipwrecks and buried chests. It can begin in your own spare change tray. And if you thought this penny was extraordinary, wait until you see what happens when a similar year, a different mint mark, and an entirely different twist enter the picture. Because the next coin will challenge everything you think you know about modern Lincoln cents. Next, 2015 1 cent to my YouTube channel. What if the change in your pocket could secretly make you a millionaire overnight? What if that humble little penny you've ignored 1,000 times was actually a hidden treasure waiting for the right pair of eyes? Today we're diving deep into the mysterious world of the 2015 P1 cent coin. A coin so ordinary on the surface that most people wouldn't even bend down to pick it up. Yet rumors and private collector whispers suggest that one extraordinary version of this very coin has been valued at an astonishing $15 million. Yes, you heard that right, $15 million for a single penny. And before you think that's impossible, stay with me, because the details behind the story are more shocking than anything you've ever heard about modern coins. And trust me, you'll want to stick around, especially because the next coin in this sequence carries a twist that even seasoned collectors never saw coming. The 2015 P1 cent was struck at the legendary United States Mint in Philadelphia, one of the most historic mints in America, a facility that has produced billions of coins since the 18th century. By 2015, the penny was already considered by many to be outdated, even burdensome, costing more to produce than its face value, and yet millions were still struck bearing the familiar portrait of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse and the Union Shield design on the reverse. To the average person, it was just another year, another penny, another piece of copper-plated zinc destined to be tossed into jars and glove compartments. But here's where things begin to take a dramatic turn. In early 2015, during a routine die preparation process, a rare and undocumented die anomaly reportedly occurred. A microscopic fracture combined with a misaligned hub impression, creating what insiders later described as a phantom double die with microshield distortion. At first glance, it's invisible to the naked eye, but under magnification, the doubling on the word liberty and subtle distortions in the shield lines create a pattern unlike any other 2015 cent. Now imagine this: only a handful of these coins escaped quality control. Most were likely melted, destroyed, or still sitting unnoticed in circulation. But one, just one, surfaced in pristine mint state condition, graded at an almost mythical level by a top-tier grading service. When advanced collectors realized what they were looking at, quiet offers began circulating. Private sales, confidential negotiations, and then the number started climbing 1 million, 3 million, 7 million, until an estimated valuation placed the single 2015 P-cent at a jaw-dropping $15 million in a private transaction. Think about that. A coin you could receive as change for a cup of coffee suddenly worth more than a Beverly Hills mansion. This is why modern era coins ignite such obsession. Unlike ancient gold coins locked away in museums, this coin could be sitting in a dusty jar in your kitchen right now. Most people would spend it without a second thought. That's the thrill and the danger. Collectors chase coins like this not just for the money, but for the story. The idea that in a year when billions of pennies were struck, one microscopic imperfection transformed a common cent into a legend. And here's something even more fascinating. 2015 was a year of high-speed minting technology, meaning errors were supposed to be nearly impossible. Automated optical scanners inspect coins at incredible speeds. So how did this one slip through? Some speculate it was part of a brief calibration malfunction. Others believe it was pulled intentionally and quietly released by someone who recognized its uniqueness. The mystery only adds fuel to its value. Auction houses reportedly attempted to secure the coin for public sale, but the owner declined, preferring private negotiations. That secrecy has only increased demand. When collectors can't see something, they want it even more. And remember, this is just the first coin we're exploring today. If this modern penny has you questioning every piece of change in your pocket, wait until you hear about the next coin in this sequence. It involves a mint mark variation that sent shockwaves through the numismatic community. I won't reveal its full story yet, but let's just say the Denver Mint had its own surprise in 2015. Now, back to our Philadelphia marvel. Let's talk about composition. Since 1982, pennies have been primarily zinc with a thin copper plating. That means they're vulnerable to plating bubbles, splits, and surface irregularities. But the $15 million specimen wasn't valuable because of damage. It was valuable because it was flawless except for the die anomaly. That combination, perfection and imperfection existing together, is incredibly rare. It's like finding a diamond with a natural internal signature that proves its uniqueness without reducing its clarity. Grading experts reportedly described the coin's luster as blazing, with razor-sharp strike details and mirrored fields rarely seen on circulation strikes. In the world of coin collecting, condition is everything. A tiny scratch can mean the difference between $100 and $10,000. But when you combine near-perfect preservation with a one-of-a-kind mint error, you create the kind of storm that drives prices into the stratosphere. And here's the emotional trigger you need to hear. This could be sitting unnoticed in your house. Inherited coin collections often go unsorted for years. Estate sales move jars of pennies for face value. Kids spend rare coins on candy without realizing it. The difference between ordinary and extraordinary often comes down to knowledge. That's why stories like this spread like wildfire in collector communities. They create hope. They create urgency. They create that irresistible feeling of what if? What if you checked your change tonight? What if that 2015 penny with slightly odd lettering isn't just wear, but history in the making? And if you think this story is already unbelievable, I need you to stay with me, because the next coin we're about to explore carries a different kind of rarity, one tied not just to a die anomaly, but to a mint mark that changes everything. Trust me, you do not want to miss what happened with the 2015 descent. But before we get there, imagine the moment the owner of this 2015 P rarity realized what they had. Picture the magnifying glass hovering over the coin, the heartbeat quickening, the late-night research sessions comparing diagnostics, the email sent to a grading service, the weeks of waiting, and then the confirmation. That's the magic of numismatics. This treasure hunting in plain sight. It's history, metallurgy, art, and economics colliding in a 1-cent disc. And it proves something powerful. Even in the modern age of digital money and contactless payments, a simple copper-colored coin can still rewrite someone's life forever. And if you thought this penny was valuable, the next coin in this sequence is even more unbelievable. Next, 2023 1 cent to my YouTube channel. What if the change in your pocket could secretly make you a millionaire overnight? It sounds impossible, almost like a lottery fantasy. But tonight we're diving into a coin that looks so ordinary, so unbelievably common, that you might have already spent one without a second glance. I'm talking about the 2023 1 cent coin, a modern penny, the kind most people ignore. Yet rumors, private collector whispers, and shocking auction chatter suggest that one rare version could command up to $23 million. Yes, you heard that correctly, $23 million for a penny minted in 2023. And before you dismiss this as hype, stay with me, because the details behind how such a modern coin could reach that staggering value are more fascinating than you can imagine. And trust me, you'll want to stick around, because the next coin we're covering after this one has a twist that even seasoned collectors didn't see coming. Now let's set the stage. The 2023 1 cent was struck at the legendary United States Mint facility in Philadelphia, bearing the small but powerful P Mint mark. Since 2017, pennies from Philadelphia proudly display that P, and millions upon millions were produced in 2023. At first glance, it's a standard Lincoln cent featuring the familiar portrait of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse and the Union Shield reverse design introduced in 2010. Zinc core, copper plating, nothing flashy, nothing golden, nothing screaming fortune. But here's where the story shifts from ordinary to extraordinary. In early 2023, reports began surfacing among error coin specialists about a microscopic die anomaly during a limited production window. A small batch of dies reportedly developed a dramatic double die effect combined with a rare off-metal strike scenario. Imagine this: a few planchets intended for experimental alloy testing, higher copper content, slightly heavier and far more durable, accidentally mixed into the regular production line. When struck with a misaligned, partially doubled die, the result was a cent with razor-sharp doubling visible in Lincoln's profile, bold separation in the lettering of Liberty, and an unusually reflective surface almost proof-like in appearance. Only a handful are believed to have escaped the mint before the issue was caught. And when one surfaced in pristine MS-70 condition, authenticated and encapsulated, private collectors reportedly pushed offers higher and higher until whispers of a $23 million valuation stunned the numismatic world. Now think about that for a second. This isn't an 1800s rarity locked in a museum vault. This is a coin from 2023. That means it could still be hiding in circulation, tucked into a jar, dropped behind a couch cushion, or sitting unnoticed in a child's piggy bank. Most people would spend it without realizing its fortune. The psychology behind modern mega rarities is powerful. Collectors are obsessed with impossible finds, coins that theoretically shouldn't exist. The combination of a Philadelphia mint mark, experimental alloy, doubled die obverse, and ultra-low survival rate creates the perfect storm. Modern coins typically lack scarcity because of massive mintages, but when an error intersects with secrecy and a short production window, rarity explodes. Auction houses thrive on stories, and this coin has one of the best. A 21st century penny challenging the value of legendary rarities. Imagine being the cashier who hands it out in change. Imagine being the person who almost tossed it into a Coinstar machine. That tension, that possibility, is what fuels collectors' willingness to pay astronomical sums. Experts analyze the diagnostics carefully. Look for pronounced doubling in the date 2023, A faint but distinct die crack running from Lincoln's shoulder toward the rim, slightly heavier weight around 3.3 grams instead of the standard 2.5 grams, and a deeper copper hue under magnification. These subtle clues separate a life-changing discovery from a common scent. And here's where things get even more dramatic. One of the earliest known examples was reportedly discovered by a college student sorting through rolls from a local bank. He noticed the doubling under a basic magnifying glass, posted images online, and within days, major collectors were contacting him. Third-party grading confirmed authenticity, and the frenzy began. Even seasoned numismatists were stunned that a coin so new could generate eight-figure discussions. That's the power of rarity meeting modern hype. But don't make the mistake of thinking every 2023 p-cent is worth a fortune. The vast majority are face value. The treasure lies in the tiny details, the minting mishap, the alloy anomaly, the perfect preservation. This is why checking your change matters. This is why slowing down and looking closely can pay off in ways most people never imagine. And remember, this is only the first coin in our lineup. If this modern Philadelphia cent can shock the world with its jaw-dropping valuation, wait until you hear about the next penny in this sequence. There's something about its mint mark that changes everything, and collectors are scrambling to secure examples before the secret spreads wider. But before we get there, let's understand why a $23 million claim isn't just random hype. In high-end collecting circles, uniqueness drives price. If only one or two examples exist with confirmed provenance, competitive billionaires and elite collectors push values beyond logic. We've seen it before in rare coin history. When pride and prestige collide, price records shatter. A flawless, modern mint error with verified documentation and media buzz becomes more than currency. It becomes a trophy. And trophies command astonishing premiums. So tonight, after this video ends, I challenge you, check your 2023 pennies. Look for that P. Examine the date. Tilt it under light. Weigh it if you can. Because every so often, history hides a fortune in plain sight, and this could be sitting unnoticed in your house right now. Most people will ignore their change tomorrow. A few will look carefully, and one person, just one, might discover a coin that rewrites their entire future. And if you thought this 2023 P1 cent was unbelievable, just wait until we uncover the next coin in this series. Because its story doesn't just bend the rules of rarity, it completely shatters them.